kitchen now. We've got Chef Devan here. Chef Jensen joins us. Hello. And we're kicking it up a notch. So we talked about taking your power tools and using them in the kitchen. A lot of people do not know, number one, how many knives they need or how to chop properly. So you're going to teach us.
That's what we're going to go through. And unfortunately, there's no power tools in this segment, okay?
I'm okay with that.
Even before we go pick up the knife, you'll notice underneath all the cutting boards, there's a wet paper towel. This is important to make sure the board doesn't slide all over the place. Another good tip for this is shelf lining. You know, with the cupboard?
Yeah.
You can use that as well, and
Smart.
that'll prevent the cutting board. It's just really important to be safe when you're doing knife skills, or you do any cutting at all.
Absolutely.
With the chef knife.
Yeah.
2 chef knives I use a paring knife, and I use a chef knife.
Yeah.
The paring knife is good for doing things like if you want to process small vegetables or fruits, like peeling the onion skin, for garlic, if you want to core strawberries, anything like that.
Yeah.
Paring knife is perfect for that. But mostly for almost everything in the kitchen, I use a chef knife.
Okay.
With the chef knife, I can't recommend a chef knife for you because it's all about how it fits in your hand and the weight of it.
Right.
So you have to feel it, and then if you go shopping for a chef knife, you always have to feel the weight, how it fits. And you know, aesthetically, I like how this one looks, and this one fit in my hand, and I like the weight, so I went with it.
It does look good on you, that knife.
Thank you. This one's a Japanese one.
I like it.
First order, when you pick up a chef knife, everyone's gonna hold a chef knife, and I got, our little birdie told me that you like to hold it like this.
Maybe. Well, whatever's the wrong way is how I do it.
Okay. So whenever you hold your chef knife, you need to choke up on the chef knife, which you take this grip here, okay?
Okay.
The reason why you choke up by the bolster is so you have a lot more control. When I'm back here, it might wobble a bit, but if I choke up on it, it might seem weird at first, but you have to practice this way. This is the way you hold a chef knife.
Okay, so you're really holding it. You have a really good grip on it.
This is the only way. So we're gonna get cutting. We're gonna go through some different techniques today.
Yeah.
Everyone can grab a pepper, okay, any type of pepper.
Yeah.
We're gonna take off. So using this technique, you need to make sure whenever you're cutting, you form your hand, your left hand or your opposite hand into a claw.
Okay.
Tiger claw, eagle claw, whatever type of claw that you want.
What about your nails?
Your nails have to get tucked in just like this.
Okay.
Unless you have chicken fingers, no one wants any fingers in the food, right?
Got it.
Okay, so just like this, we're gonna make them.
Yeah.
And the other blade is gonna rest along the fingers, and you'll notice that the tips are out of the way. So when you slice, you're never gonna have to, so curl those in a bit more.
Okay.
This, I knew this would be making me really nervous. Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna.
What's this called?
This is just called a regular slice, okay?
This is a regular slice.
So top, and we'll take off the bottom.
Sounds so silly.
I'm not complying already.
Just
Top
a
and the
regular
bottom.
slice.
Now on the top of the pepper, we have a series of holes. We can cut down any of those holes.
Okay.
Okay, everyone with me so far?
Yes.
Turn it on its side.
Oh, I didn't cut the bottom. Sorry.
Yeah, you need to cut the
Okay.
bottom. We'll bring the pepper off. And the reason why we bring it off the cutting board, this is also a great technique, is because so the knife can rest flat. If I try to do anything like this, I'm not going to be able to get a flat cut. So if I bring it like this, I can now rest the knife flat, and I can roll the pepper. And as I roll the pepper, I'll take the core out, okay?
See, they're impressed. They're impressed. They're impressed.
It's also important whenever you're doing something
That
with
was
knife skills,
cool.
and whenever you're cooking, you always have a scrap bowl, so you can put all your scraps somewhere.
Okay.
Notice the top and the bottom I'm not throwing out. These are great for salads, stir fries, things like that. So try to use little to no waste.
Okay.
Again, using this technique, bringing the knife off the board, I
Yeah.
can go in and carefully cut out the rest. Ideally, if this is your first time doing it, you may want to cut away from yourself. But because I'm comfortable, you should always cut away from yourself, but I'm comfortable with my knife.
Look at that.
Okay, and then so we have a pepper.
Okay,
All de-seeded
lovely.
and ready to go. So from here, we can practice the slice technique. The slice also ties into a julienne, or a bâtonnet, or en français, allumette, which means matchstick.
Allumette.
We parle en français ici.
Oui,
Okay?
je peux parler
So,
un petit peu.
Un petit peu.
That's about it, guys. That's all I got.
So we'll take the same technique using the claw, and on the slice, the tip of the knife is going to rest on the board, and you're doing this motion. You bring it back, and then
Still
you go
holding onto the
forward.
blade.
Okay.
You must always
Always?
choke up on the knife.
Okay.
If you do not choke up on the knife, I have no work for you.
Okay.
Okay.
You show me first.
So, and then we're gonna slice. And again, your fingers are out of the way. Only raise the blade as much as you need to cover the pepper. And this would be essentially a julienne or a matchstick. And as you practice,
Mine's
it'll
going
come a bit faster.
sideways. I don't know why it's doing that.
It's all practice.
Okay.
If you
Is it okay if it's on a diagonal like that?
Sure.
I feel like I know what I'm
Okay,
doing.
so this would be the julienne. A julienne is like
Okay.
1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by 1 to 2 inches, okay?
Okay.
If you want to get really technical. A brunoise is like a 3mm cube.
Casey's
How are you
eating. I'm
doing down there?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So far, so
Well,
good?
I feel like I
Good.
get my ruler out to measure to make sure I have it all. You can't give me measurements without me wanting to do it.
Well, I think yours are perfect. perfect. You don't even need the measuring tape.
It looks great. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll
Okay.
take the julienne pieces now.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to cut cubes out of it. And that's the julienne, the brunoise, all with the slice. Now, what Leanne's doing is very
wrong.
aggressive, okay? Because there's a big pile of peppers. So you'll notice I
She's
didn't do
used
all
to
the
power
peppers.
tools, that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to do these in bunches, right? And in little batches. So this much is good at a time. And that's a really good-looking brunoise. Everyone but Leanne, looking good. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing you.
I feel good about things right now.
I'm just
I
teasing.
did.
This is good. Okay, so how many have we been through? We've learned a few things. We've learned you only really need 2 knives. The chef's knife and the paring knife, especially if you're just starting out.
For me, some people might want to use a boning knife, or some people might want to use a heavier knife for chopping bones and stuff like that.
I'm just thinking because it gets confusing when you're out there. There's so many knives you can buy, but you need the
Exactly.
basics. So now we know how to do, we know to slice, chop, back slice. Did you teach us that?
The back slice, I'm going to get to that, but the chopping method, I'll show
How
you
much more
quickly.
time do we have? None.
The chopping
So-
method is just up and down,
Okay.
and then whenever you have basil, the
Yeah.
back slice, you just roll it up quickly, and then the back slice is just pulling your knife back
Oh,
slowly.
going back.
And you get ribbons. Chiffonade in French is it just means ribbons, right?
Okay, cool. I like this. We've
These are
learned a
all-
thing or two.